Good morning, good evening, good night. I don't know to whom I am saying, whether people who have seen the sun now, or people who are going to see the sunset now, or the people who have seen the moon already. But welcome to one brand of Toastmasters which brings people from all over the world to a common platform. This is Ramanujam, the Sergeant of Arms for today's meeting. The mission of Toastmasters International is we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. The mission of the district is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. The club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters International has presence in more than 143 countries with 358,000 members and 16,800 plus clubs. I need to be accurate today at least because we have the one important guest amongst us. Out of 143 countries and 16,800 clubs, there was a new district which was formed on 1st July 2020, which is District 120, comprising of clubs in Tamil Nadu in the southern part of India. In this District 120, there is one young, energetic, and nurturing club called Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club, the host for this meeting. On behalf of Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club, I invite everyone for this meeting. The word AATLAS, I go back to my school's age where AATLAS is something map. America, Africa, Antarctica. No, I was very weak in geography. Then Atlas, some Greek god. Oh, I am very poor in history also. What do you know? You don't know geography, history, or anything. But I know Atlas as A-A-T-L-A. Yes, my maths is right. That is why my name is Ramanujam. 6. Atlas is nothing but Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Initiative of Learn and Share. We Toastmasters learn and unlearn to many people. That is the motto of this club of forming this series of seminars called as AATLAS. The basic rules of any Toastmaster meeting applies for this meeting also. Rule number 1, the members who are going to speak are requested to not to speak on sex, religion, and politics. We have a Zoom master who will be controlling the entire technological thing. And if you have any queries, just go to the chat option and write it to AATC info, which is the name of the Zoom master now. So to kickstart this meeting, we have a very special person. Why? Because this person is a very dedicated Toastmasters because she has served the role of Vice President Education. I know you all understand why I say a dedicated Toastmaster. But she's also a dedicated Toastmaster because she is managing the incoming Vice President Education, who is apparently the VPPR in his heart, VPPE in his brain. So please join me in welcoming the patient, the lady, the charismatic leader of Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club, the president, the ever-smiling Toastmaster Tamilarasi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramanujam, for that wonderful introduction. A very warm good evening to all the members and Toastmasters present here. I welcome you all to the second session of AATLAS, that is Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Learn and Share. Yes, we are here to learn and share the different edges of all the Toastmasters, nuances and corners. For this panel discussion, I'm very happy to introduce a person who is going to be the moderator of today's evening. for the panel discussion. She is a very passionate cake artist by profession. We all love cakes, right? She's a cake artist by profession. She joined Toastmasters in October 2018, exactly a year before I joined. I joined October 2019. She is the immediate past president and the current vice president of education of Quite Challengers Toastmasters Club of District 20. She is also the area director of Area 21, Division F, District 20. And her credit list goes as follows. She has completed CC in her traditional path. She has a triple crown, the visionary communication path also in the pathways. And now, right now, she's making her way towards the DTM title. I'm very happy to welcome Toastmaster Priscilla as the moderator for the today's panel discussion. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Priscilla.
Thank you, President of Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club. And I would like to thank the Sergeant at Arms for making that remarkable opening. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all 21 participants in this Zoom room and those who will follow and join us. A warm welcome to this panel discussion on Toastmasters International Branding. Now, what is branding? Most of us know. What is Toastmasters International Branding? Again, some of us do know. Or let me say, most of us know. Do we really know? That is what we are here for. We all know that we are here to learn from a group of experts. And what is it that they have to offer us? A complete insight on what the new Toastmasters International Brand Manual has to offer. Since the launch of the new brand manual, these panelists have spent precious time studying the manual and sharing the information with each other, and also sharing it with the Toastmasters community at large. And today they're here to share their expertise with us. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the panelists. Toastmaster Rashmi Raghav, member of Formosa Toastmasters Club and Kotra Toastmasters Club in Malaysia. Toastmaster Jagdish, VPPR Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Mutaya Babu Dharma, VP-Ed Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club, India. I would also like to introduce to you today our Q&A masters, Toastmaster Bindu Pillai, VPPR of KEF Toastmasters in Qatar, and Toastmaster Sujata Kumar from District 102, again in Malaysia. And in the spotlight, we have our chief panelist, Toastmaster Ilana Herzberg, TI brand specialist, who will answer all our questions. So welcome panelists to this panel discussion. A huge round of applause for our panelists who will answer our questions and our queries. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, this being a panel discussion, you will definitely have questions to ask. Please address those questions in the chat to the chat monitor in the chat box. And our Q&A masters, Toastmaster Bindu and Toastmaster Sujata, will take these up with our chief panelist, Toastmaster Ilana, in the Q&A session towards the end of this panel discussion. Once again, let me remind you, our panelists here are going to share their expertise on Toastmasters International Branding Guidelines. Are we ready to begin this panel of discussion? Well, in that case, I would like to introduce our first panelist. Our first panelist has been a Toastmaster since 2018 and is a member of Famasa Toastmasters Club and Kotra Toastmasters Club in Malaysia. She has served as the VPPR in the last term and is currently the VP Ed. She's a part of the PQD team of District 102. She hails from New Delhi, India, but is currently living in Malaysia. An enthusiastic of TI branding, is active in the district branding activities. Who better can we have on this panel discussion to share her knowledge on the three most important elements of branding? Please help me welcome Toastmaster Rashmi Raghav, who will take you through the purpose of branding, colors, font, and visuals of TI branding. Welcome, Toastmaster Rashmi. The screen is yours.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. Warm welcome to you all for this session. Very happy evening and morning to you all. Welcome, brand ambassadors. As a Toastmasters, we all are brand ambassadors. Toastmaster International is that community. And as Toastmasters, we communicate and implement this brand at a global platform. We are that brand which is recognized in more than 142 countries. We are the brand. So let's start this awesome session with checking our branding awareness. I'm just sharing my screen. Yes, here we go. So first thing is, I'm going to start this session. Just a quick eye test. Here I have some samples, some flyers, which have some don'ts. And here you can participate through the chat box and help me to identify which are do's and which are don'ts. So are you all ready for that? You can share me your answer. Here is the poster number 1. What is right and what is wrong? You can just unmute yourself and you can share me your answer through the chat box as well. So more interaction, more fun learning. Yes, Shashank, would you like to share me something? Is this poster brand compliant? Is there any issue in this poster?
The image is not brand compliant.
The logo has been cut.
Yep. There is Mr. Thomas Abraham also, which said the logo is being cut.
And red color is no more a brand color in TMI.
Yes, red is not. What about the yellow one?
The yellow is not the actual yellow. And you have shades
Yes.
below as well.
Good. Correct. Very good, Toastmaster. Here's the second example. So many questions about this poster.
The logo
Cartoon is no.
Is this a brand compliant poster?
No, cartoon is no.
Thomas Abraham, what are the issues?
Cartoon.
Yes, very big no. Yes.
The orange.
Yes, I'm agree with you, sir.
The orange.
Orange color. Right, you are right. Other than that, sir?
Even the race should not be used, Toastmaster Rashmi.
Very good, Shashank, because I'm so impressed with your answer. In updated brand manual, we are not encouraged to use the raised now. And the logo. Logo is the primary identity of any organization, and it has been cut on the borders. Oh, very good. Now, a few more examples here. Pink color, blue color, nice combination. Can we go with it?
Never ever.
Ilana is very surprised to see the colors. Yeah. Color. No. What about the font?
Only Montserrat and Source Sans Pro.
Or Gotham.
Yes, I do.
Gotham or Myriad Pro. Yep.
Gotham. And the last one, last poster. Toastmasters Club contest night. I love to see the face reactions.
Clear space not
The
respected.
font.
The font.
Colors.
Only the logo is correct.
Yeah.
No.
The
Clear
logo is
spacing.
correctly placed.
Rest
No.
of
Yeah,
No.
clear spacing is there. One good point.
Also, the logo is
And
against
font.
the background. The logo, I don't think it should be against the design.
Sorry, sir?
The logo should not be against a design, as if I remember right.
Yeah.
We'll get it clarified.
And one point, if that we will clarify with Elena again. And as per my knowledge, logo should be always placed on TI branding compliant colors, only on the branded colors.
Yes.
Quick review about the TI colors according to the updated brand manuals. These are the primary colors with which we can go for making posters and flyers. True maroon, loyal blue, and the cool gray, and the happy yellow. This is not a primary color. We can sparingly use that. We have get clarifications on that from the headquarters. So, and the fonts. Second most important factor when you are preparing a flyer. The primary font, Gotham. And we are happy to have a free alternative font as well, that is Montserrat. Second one is Myriad Pro. And please keep note, there is no more ITC Lubelin in the updated manual. And we have alternate of this font is Source and Pro, which is easily available in the tools like Canva. And if you don't have these 4 fonts, no need to worry. Still, you can go with the flow. You can go with the TI brand guidelines. You are free to use tertiary font, that is Arial. So this is the thing about the TI brand colors and the fonts. Now, another factor, logos should be very particular, because logo is that sole identity of the organization. Should not play with the logos at all. So there are strict conditions. It should be properly placed. These are the logos as per the new updated guidelines. Full color version.
I have a
And
question
great.
here, Rashmi.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. If you see a Pathways logo where you have a red color
Right.
near to the burgundy, is it allowed even the Pathways logo from the
Sir?
top? The Pathways logo where in
Yeah.
the left side, yes, that is the one I'm referring.
Yeah. Are you talking about this color?
Yes, you are correct. Yeah, that is the color. Yeah.
Yes. These questions we have to, sir, and we have the specialist to answer this.
We will
This
take it
question
up
is
in the
also in
Q&A
our-
session. Excuse me, we will take it up in the Q&A
to
session.
the Elena.
Yeah, please let the panelists continue her work, please. And then we will have a Q&A session at the
Okay.
end directly with Ilana. Okay?
Thank you, Bindu.
Since
And there's
just have an interactive.
At the end, please. We will have it at the end. We have 40 minutes for that. Don't worry.
So we also have that same question, and we are directly send it to the Elena. We will seek the answer of this question in the end. And the new Pathways logo, previously in the previous version, we had only full color version. Now we are free to use grayscale and the black and the white one. So And another important aspect, don't forget about the breathing space and the dry size requirement. New guidelines has been added. Previously, the breathing space was much bigger than the now. Now, in the updated manual, it is according to the size of the word mark. They reduce the breathing space. Previously, it was much bigger. Now, the same guidelines the TI have applied with the pathways logo as well and the word mark. So these are the few points. If you will keep in your mind color, font, logos, and clear space, there you go. You can make a flyer with properly 99 or 100% branded compliant. No need to worry about that then. Here are some basic elements I would like to share with you all to create a good poster. After having the knowledge of brandings, the font, color, there are few aspects if you will keep in your mind, then you can create an amazing flyer and the posters. Be mindful with the content and the purpose, why you are creating that flyer, why you are creating that poster, and the organization. Where to place the font, where to place the images, and how to use the space. It should not be very much cluttery. This should not be overloaded with the information. And second thing is the color combination. Now we have 3 primary colors. Red is no more there. So be careful about this. And the third one is visuals. The pictures, the images. And I'm here, my another panelist, Jagdish, is here. He will share his knowledge about the visuals, do's and don'ts in detail. Using a very simple tool named Canva. Color combinations and the proper location of the logo, and be mindful with the font. There you go. Not a big task, seriously. This is a very famous Speak series from our district, District 102, the Speak series. We get so much praise for this series, and more than that, praise for the posters. And these are the signature posters of our signature series from District 102. And in that, we have our designer here. He was always very, very clear about using the primary colors in the background, blue and maroon. And before launching the new updated brand manual, he was having the yellow, the accent color, as highlighting the things as a sparingly using that, not as the dominant color. And this is the another thing it's using. Here are some resources you can use to create amazing flyers, posters, and promote your club. Gather new members. Here you go. So be brand conscious, and spread awareness. Back to you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmi. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Rashmi for bringing to us the color, font, purpose of using brand logos in the right way, and the visuals. Of course, visuals will be covered by co-panelists. But thank you very much, Toastmaster Rashmi, for in this short period, just bringing to light what we need to know, and not what we don't need to know, just what we need to know. So thank you for that. And moving on, I would now like to call upon our next panelist. Now, branding is more than just color, font, and visuals. Don't you agree with me? Isn't there something missing? So our next panelist here is all geared to take us to that next level in branding, sharing with us his expertise on the use of images and videos. He is a product manager for Scientific Games. It is a world leader in casino software and hardware provider. So you can imagine where we are going. He is from Chennai, India. He joined Toastmasters as recent as 2020. and he has served as Sergeant at Arms in the last term, and currently he is the VPPR of Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Jagdish. Toastmaster Jagdish, the screen is yours.
Yeah. Good evening, Toastmasters. Good noon and good morning, Toastmasters. Thank you for that introduction, Priscilla Diaz. Just a moment. So while we are designing the flyers or videos, we used to have more questions and confusions because there are multiple themes coming up every week. We'll be having more confusions. Yes, it is obvious. Whereas, what is the first doubt we used to have? What type of images we have to use, what not to be used, and what is the ground rule we have to follow. So here are some insights which I came across, which we can see, right? So in this session, we'll be covering two main segments. One is about images and photography and about video guidelines. Let's get first started with images on what we can use. So Toastmasters International recommends, so the images what are reflecting our Toastmasters environment. So it can be our own club photographs or the photographs from the portal. So for the resources, we'll be having another next panelist who will be explaining about the resources where we can find in our portal. Right? So what are the do's? The images should reflect someone he is engaged with or empowered. Someone is giving a presentation who is supportive and who is attending the meeting. And if it is a speech contest, we can very well use a speech contest related images. So we have seen what can be used, right? So the opposite way, what cannot be used? What are the don'ts which should not be used in the flyer? Landscapes, animal photos, children photos, food and food appliances, medicine, architecture, and clip arts or cartoons. Of course, we can use the icons in limited basis so that we can get clarified with Elena on that. So moving on to video guidelines. So nowadays, video is becoming popular and trending. So we used to see colorful videos and graphics into it, animations. So something like bursting, crackers. So many things we are seeing on. What are the guidelines we have to follow when we are creating video? In very first screen or first set of frames, we have to have our logo, Toastmasters International, and under that, you should be having the club name and its details, like area or district. And the disclaimer. So it is stating that this video is not approved by Toastmasters International. So moving on to the end part, we have to place the credit section to give the credit for the person who has created this video. If required, you can give the title of it and the club name and the club details. And at the end, you can give the copyright for the club and the month which is being created for this video. And what is the next step is you have to get a written permission from the person who is being featured in the video. Should make sure that you should not infringe the intellectual property rights or privacy or public rights or ownership or other legal items. And if you want to trademark your video, you have to request it through trademarks at Toastmasters. And if you have any related queries on branding, you can straight away email to brand@toastmasters.org. So we talked some information about trademark request. Let's see on details about it. So when you come to the trademark request, and we used to have more contests and events within our club. So what are authorized by the Toastmaster International and what not? Let's see one by one. So authorized things comes under like stationaries, in websites you can use, and in agendas you can use our Toastmaster branding logos, font style, whatever Rashmi has to do. And in electronic media you can share your flyers, posts. That's not a problem. Whereas what are not authorized, like trophies, ribbon, and the badges, apparels, certificates, and pins. So these are the items you have to get request from trademark to get authorized before using that. Same way, so you can reach out to trademarks at Toastmaster.org, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to brand@toastmaster.org. Thank you for that. And hope you have got some idea about what kind of images you can use and what type of guidelines you have to use in videos. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Presidarias.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagdish. A round of applause for Toastmaster Jagdish. Thank you, participants. Thank you, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you, Toastmaster Jagdish, for letting us know what are the images we can use and what we should refrain from. What are the things that we need to do when we have a video presentation? What is, how do we approach TI to have all of that approved? So if you see, our first two panelists have covered almost everything. Is there anything you participants would like to know? Then place those questions in the chat box while I introduce our third panelist, who is going to make our TI branding task even simpler. Can I hear this TikTok typing in the chat box? Please leave your questions out over there. And to introduce our next panelist, he has been a Toastmaster since 2017. He served at different XCOM levels. He has been the past area PR manager and is the current VP Ed and creative head of District 114P and the AATLAS chair. He is an engineer. He has an engineering graduate and master's in business administration and has 10 years of experience in the IT industry. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Muthaiya Babu Dharma, the mastermind of this whole event, I guess, who, as I said, is going to make our task of branding even easy, simple, by introducing to us the resources. Over to you, Toastmaster Muthaiya.
Thank you, Priscilla, for the introduction. So whenever we are going to create the posters or flyers, so most of the members, they are not sure where we are going to download. So let me talk about my own history. So when I have joined in 2017, as I was part of subcommittee of VPPR, so when I'm not knowing about how to download the TA logo. So what I have done is I go to Google and I have typed Toastmasters International logo. Then I have found the logo from there. I copied and pasted, and from there I can able to come the logo with background, some colors. So when I'm going to play, whenever I'm placing the logo into the whatever the color, I will be getting the white color box in the poster. Then I asked my VPPR of my club. Then he told me it's available in the element, so you can go and download it there. So that is the thing. Then I don't know where to download because I was too new to Toastmasters on that time. So I have faced the challenges. So let me show you where to download the images and what are the logos are available. and what are the resources which is available for all Toastmasters and how to download it. Let me share my screen. So this is the website. It will be maybe very familiar for all the members. At least it's our Toastmasters International website. So here you can able to find there is no need of login to download the files. So it is not sure you need to log in, then only you can able to download it. It obviously not. You need to go to resources where I'm highlighting with the circular. If you click on resources, you can go to the brand portal where you can go to find which is relevant to the brand, as well as all the objects are available over there as well. So here itself they are telling how to use the logo and templates. Everything is on the video as well. There are 2 minutes video. So let me download. I want to download the logos. So how to download it? You have to go to logo and design elements. You click here. So you can able to see the logos and the wordmark, lockups, pathways logo, pathways patches, Gavel Club logo as well. Apart from these, so what all other things are there? So I want to create a cover page for social media. So that also editable format it is available. So I want to create editable Facebook event template, that also available. And what are the Facebook cover we are going to use, that also available here. So what are the template our panelists used here, that is a TA branded PowerPoint template, that also available here. So everything is available here. Let me go to how to download it and which will be the best option to download. So here you can go for a logo. So let me download the color logo. Let me explain you for JPG. So go to the click on JPG file. You can able to get, this is the one. So this is what, if you copy this image and you're placing on your poster by clicking Control V, so you can able to see this image with the white color background. So we are going to place this logo on burgundy or go for blue or gray, whatever the background. So it will be with the background of white. So if you download as a JPG, then we go for PNG format. We click on PNG. So you can able to see here the color background is black. So this is something like a transparent logo. If you save as images and if you are using it, wherever you are going to place this logo, it will be the plain background. If you place this logo on blue background, it should be on color logo with blue background. Going for burgundy, you can go for maybe the same logo, the transparent with the same background. This is also available. So let me save and you can use it. I'm requesting you to download it and you can use it there. Instead of you are using a copy and paste, the resolution of your poster will be getting dull. So whenever you are creating a poster, better to make the bigger size and you can able to download it as a high resolution. Because we are using social forum, something like WhatsApp or Facebook. Whenever you are uploading the images to somewhere, the resolution will be automatically shrink. Then you need to download it back, then you need to forward. So I'm always requesting to use the logo which is available from the TA, download it and use them directly and you can share it to others as well. This is what Toastmasters International logo. Let me back for, I need to use the wordmark. So I can go for, again, I'll go for a PNG, which is my favorite. I go for a PNG, you can able to see the difference here. So here the background is fully transparent. Here, this is, let me share how it is. Maybe you can go for resources. So I have placed here, it's a presentation. If you want to place the logo, you can, what a difference, let me show you here. You can go for a pictures. You can go for a PNG image. We click here. So you can able to see the background is as it is. So whatever the color we are going to get, this is what we are going to, it's the advantage of PNG format. So let me copy the file of JPG and I will show you back. So here I will be going here and I'll go to wordmark as JPG. We'll clicking here and this is the one. I'm going to copy the image back to the presentation and place it here. So whenever I place it here, so I can able to get the background of white color. So it is the same the same method we are going to insert. So I'm requesting all the members to use the PNG format where you can able to change the background. It will be as it is to be fitted with your background. This is regarding the resources. Yes, and apart from that, we have recently we released the logo plus tagline and logo plus, well, this is the latest one. So these are the things we are going to. I'm recommending to use all the members. I'm assuming that it is clear now. If you want to download the logo, you have to download from TI portal. Go to resources, and go to brand portal, and you can download them. And I want to download the image. We are telling we need to use the image for engage, and we need to motivate those things. So how to download the images from the TI portal? So here you can able to find professional images. Click here. So once you click here, it will be asked you to click for access. You can click here again. You click here, there will be a different gallery which will open from the Toastmasters as well. So from here you can able to download the images and you can able to use it for your posters. So public, club, so branded photos. So these are the images already available in our Toastmasters International. You can use the photos. An example. So I need to go for mentoring program. So for mentoring, I need to show mentor and mentee relationship. For this, I can use this image. If you want to download it, so here you can able to find the option. So download. Then you have option called original file, JPG original size, and based on the size you can able to download it. So let me download as a original file because I want to do some editing. So I need to get full capable images. So this is the method to download the images as well as logo. This is what I hope I have provided all the information to download the logos as well as images. Thank you, Priscilla. Back to you. Please move forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mutaya. You have made it so easy for us. Everything is so neatly tucked in the Toastmasters website. All we need to do is go there and pick up the images, and in the resources, pick up the images and the logos, which are already there for us. So with that, I think we have learned quite a lot today, a lot of learning on TI branding. Don't you agree? I don't think there are some who don't agree. So definitely they have questions. And those who have questions have obviously put them in the chat box. And what we can see here is that our chat box masters, question and answer masters, are getting ready to fire those questions at our chief panelist, Ilana. So Toastmaster Ilana, are you ready for those questions? Great. So let me first introduce our chief panelist. She has an extensive background in branding and brand strategy. Having worked with a great global brands, both in branding consultancies and advertising agencies. Although now she lives in the US, she is Brazilian, and she has been a Toastmaster since November 2018, so a month later than me. And yet she is the brand specialist. So there's definitely something that is special about her. And she has just finished her first path. And again, she's chosen engaging humor. So we're expecting a little bit of humor in those answers. And she is the VPPR of her club. But of course, Toastmaster Ilana also won her area contest this year. With a round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Ilana, our TI brand specialist, to answer those questions. And to assist her with those questions are our Q&A masters, Toastmaster Bindu, the VPPR of KEF Toastmasters, and also the PR manager of Area 15 Division D and Division G of District 116. And Toastmaster Sujata Kumar, Assistant Division G Director, Program Quality, and District 102 Program Quality Team, Special Workshop Chair. Welcome, Q&A Masters. Ready to shoot those questions? The stage is yours.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Before we get to the questions, I just want to say a few things. Not that I need to say much because the wonderful panelists covered pretty much everything, and you guys are amazing. You're doing a phenomenal job, and the amount of knowledge that you have is really impressive. If everyone could be like you, they wouldn't even need me. I am very, very honored to be here. This is what makes my life, my work come full circle. Because we sit here in Denver, and of course we get emails, we are in contact with members all the time, but it's like emails, it becomes almost very bureaucratic, and it's there, we don't see the faces. When we get to actually participate and hear the real questions, even the frustrations, even when I have to say no, and everyone's like, why? It doesn't make any sense. I love seeing you. I love getting to meet all the members and officers and leaders who are making this company, this organization thrive. I love to see what you're doing. I love to see the creativity. Some of the flyers that you showed were like, we should have been doing this ourselves. It's so good. And the no's make me want to faint, but yeah. So I'm very exciting me. I love this. We are here to serve you. So every time you think you're bothering us or you're, but remember, I send you too many emails and I complain, it's absolutely fine. That's why we are here. We're here to serve you. So this is what makes perfect sense. I love when I get invited, and I love to participate and see what's happening. I think you pretty much covered everything of do's and don'ts about branding, and I don't need to go into that. The fonts and the colors and the images and the cartoons, I know. What I would like to share with you, I even prepared some slides, but I don't think I need those right now. I would like to share with you the why behind all that. Because I know some people are very passionate and they take the brand manual and they're fine with it, and some, even those, will stumble upon some things like, but it's so restrictive, but I want to do something different. And I want to explain why this is important. Not that you don't know, because clearly you're doing an amazing job. But I am ridiculously passionate about branding. And that doesn't mean a logo, as you well know. Branding is not the logo, is not the colors, is not the fonts. Those are elements that help us visually integrate everything. But branding is so much more than that. The reason I'm so passionate is because branding is what allows us to connect all the dots, all of the touch points. When you greet a guest or a member in a meeting, how you're gonna conduct yourself and the speeches that you make, how you post when you're representing Toastmasters or when you're in a Toastmasters forum, what kind of language and tone do you use? When you're explaining to other people, have you heard of Toastmasters? How do you talk about it? When you defend Toastmasters, when everyone in headquarters picks up the phone to talk to a member, how we answer an email, all of those things. When you create materials, of course, when you create a flyer, when you create a t-shirt, when you organize your district conference, when you join convention, all of those things are branding. Every touch point, every interaction is branding, because the brand is alive, and you're making it alive on how you talk, the vocabulary you use, how you present yourself, how you're representing the organization, how is the organization handling you. Those are all branding. That's why I'm so passionate, because it goes so beyond a logo. And that is what unites us, because the clubs are so absolutely different. We have districts all over the world. I come from Brazil. We have so many countries we heard already here. And the clubs are unique and different. Brazil is the most informal country.
We don't like rules. We don't like laws that much either. Everyone's late. So how do you have a Toastmasters and be on time and respect that? Brazilians tend to just speak all the time, one on top of the other, and then you run way past your time. So Toastmasters brings some order. But the club works as it does in the US, as it does in India, in Malaysia, all over the place. They're just different. They're unique. Maybe some are more formal. Maybe some would like to say Toastmaster in the last name. Some will just go by the first name. They're still clubs. So branding help us unite all of that. So when you walk in a meeting in a community library in Indonesia, or in a corporation in the US, or in my case, my club meets in the basement of a pub, you need to know immediately this is a Toastmasters club. Have you seen the look on faces when guests come in or people who've heard about it? They walk in and they're looking around, because this is not a university, even though some are in universities. This is not a brick and mortar McDonald's that you walk in, you know exactly you're gonna have a number one and you like the Big Mac. This is like, I don't know if I'm in the right place. I don't know if I'm gonna like these. Who are these people? There's a sergeant at arms. I don't even know what that means. And then you see the banner that has the same logo from the website that someone directed you to. And that's what's like, oh, okay, I'm in the right place. That's why it's important to have cohesiveness in everything we do. So when I see a post, when I see the banner, when I see someone wearing a t-shirt, it connects the dots. And it works really both ways, both for headquarters and for the clubs. Because for us, headquarters, we get to say, we are all over the world because of you, because of what you are doing. Such an amazing work, keeping your clubs, growing your clubs, chartering new clubs. We have new districts. So because of you, headquarters gets to say, we are in over 140 countries. We have over 16,000 clubs. And that is really impressive because of you. If we can recognize those clubs, we don't get to say that. And for you, when you get a new member, you get to tell them, we are an almost 100-year-old organization. We have materials translated into 10 different languages. You now, especially now with Zoom and everyone meeting online, you know what? You can become a member of our club, but you also can join thousands of others. You can visit others. You want to learn a new language? Maybe you're learning Spanish. You can visit a club that meets in Spanish. You can try your hand at giving a speech in Spanish if you want, because we offer that capillarity as well. So it goes both ways. That is why it's so important that everything says the same message. Of course, it's different when you're posting something about a funny meeting you have, and when you're inviting people for district conferences, you're gonna adjust. There's a tweet, there's a copy, there's a website, all those things are different. But when you can recognize what's behind all that, that's what makes it so powerful. It becomes instantly recognizable. People know what we stand for. They know our message, and that's why it's so important. So the main question I get is, oh, we get it. There's a brand manual, guidelines, logos, trademarks, we get all that. However, if I take the logo out, then I can do whatever I want, right? Because then I'm not messing with the logo. Well, technically from a trademark standpoint, there wouldn't be a trademark infringement, but that is a brand violation, because that means you're communicating something about this organization without actually using the organization. So that is a branding violation. In your speech, you can do whatever you want. Maybe you're gonna give a speech on how much you love puppies. You can use all the pictures of puppies you want in your PowerPoint if you want to show people. If you want to do a speech on how Batman changed your life, by all means, you can come dress as a Batman and you can use Batman in your speech, because that's not a copyrights problem. That's not a trademarks problem. You're just talking about something you're passionate about. However, when you're promoting the organization, when you're trying to get new members, when you're trying to get your message across out there in the world, if you don't use the logo, instead of being one strong organization that has over 16,000 clubs in 120 districts, we become 16,000 tiny little organizations that no one understands what they're all about and what they stand for. And I get it. I'm from branding. Creating logos is fun. Creating flyers that have the color of our own city, of our flower of our city or our country, it's fun because, hello, we understand all that. Making it connect with the local people. But think about it. If everyone does that, we have 16,000 different tiny little organizations instead of a powerful one. And no one wins with that. You may be able to say something fun to the person in your neighborhood, but we're missing out what connects us all. And considering, again, how unique the clubs are from the cultural, language, geographical perspective, we are so unique and different. What unites us is our purpose, how you said it yourselves. What unites us is what is our values, our mission, what we have in common. If we forego that, then we're separated. That's why it's so, so, so important to follow branding guidelines. I understand they can be restrictive, that you want to have a Halloween poster to invite people for your Halloween meeting, and we hear you. We are trying all the time to work on something that would give you more flexibility, because some districts have like whole branding teams. Some clubs have a brand expert or a designer that can do amazing stuff. And that could almost be like, well, this I could approve. The vast majority have no clue on how to create materials, even with Canva, or they're not that computer savvy. So I can't approve something that would work for you because you're so great at creating it. When the club next door puts a picture of a pizza and instead of pepperoni, there's a bunch of Toastmasters logos all around, and I'm like, oh my God, now we're a pizzeria, I don't know. That's why we have to be very careful and draw a line that would allow everything to be replicable. And I get some emails saying, yeah, but I saw it in the magazine, you use a cartoon, or there's a red over there in the Pathways logo. What happens is we always try new things too, to see if they work, to see if they get the attention of prospects, of other people out there, if they're replicable. Sometimes the designers will try a few things and be like, you know what, this would be very hard for people to replicate, so it doesn't work. Or we try some different colors on an online campaign to see if that stands out. And if it does, maybe we actually need to add a few more colors to the brand manual. That is a process that will take over a year. Board needs to approve that. It takes a while. We don't move that fast because there's a whole system in place to protect it all. So that's why you see it. In the magazine, we need more flexibility because it's a magazine. We have different stories, we have different articles, and all of the exceptions that you will see in a post or in the magazine, they are vetted by a whole multidisciplinary team. It's not that someone chooses a cartoon and just puts out there and almost in your face because you can't use cartoons and then we use it. When we have something like that, we have it vetted by legal, by trademarks, by translations, who is a multinational team to make sure that we are being culturally sensitive. A lot of the things we even wouldn't think about, like a gesture in a picture. Like if you do it like this in America, that means like, yay, woohoo, I won. In some other cultures, it can be a sign of oppression. It can be a sign of aggression. So we have to be very, very, very careful with that. And because we can't offer the service to 16,000 clubs, send your cartoons, we'll tell you if that works or not. Most unfortunately, we have to say, let's stick with pictures that show what we do and won't confuse anyone. If we put a picture of a toaster and we'll call Toastmasters, well, a lot of people would be like, yeah, I bought your air fryer, it doesn't work. We get emails like that. We do. That's a terrible company because they don't have a website or anything. It looks super shady. We actually have to dig and find a number to give when people call. It's like, your air fryer doesn't work. I'm like, I'm sorry. We don't do air fryers, but call this number and hopefully they'll refund it for you. So that's what I wanted to share with you. This is a lifelong mission, and I know that you're my partners in that. I don't even have to invite you to join me on this cause because you already did before I even have to ask, because you're that passionate. But this is a task I can't do by myself, and headquarters cannot do it by itself. We need your help. We need you to say, we are going to defend this brand and we're going to look out for it. If you see something you don't know if it's right or not, you can always send it to me and say, hey, I saw a club doing this. Is this okay? And it's not telling on people. We can have a really nice conversation and say, hey, we saw this post, really creative. This is really cool. However, try to steer it this way or that way. Or when clubs create logos, can you imagine 16,000 different logos? That's why we say, unfortunately, we can't allow that. So I invite you to join me on this mission, even more than what you already did. And I know so many names I see here, and I'm like, I got emails from you, from you, from you, from you. And I love when I get emails, even when you're frustrated. You can vent, it's fine. I understand your frustration. I work with all sorts of brands, and in an ad agency, I work for Unilever. And the creatives were so annoyed because you think our brand manual is restrictive. Unilever has a thing this big on guidelines. And they're like, we created this whole idea for a script. I'm like, not compliant. And they feel like, but you're putting us in a cast that we can't move. I'm like, it is what it is. Big brands have that in order to function, in order to make sure that people are cohesive, because your sense of humor and someone else's is very different. So what you find funny can be very offensive to someone else. And that's why we are trying to find a common ground. So thank you so much for the amazing work you do. I am astounded at this webinar, at the quality of the information, of everything you're doing. Very happy to be here. Ready to be bombarded with the questions and how unhappy you are. The bright red was removed and you can't use cartoons. I'll take it all, so send it my way. And thank you for all of you who send me emails. Even when you're upset, it's all good. It shows that you're engaged and it shows that you respect the process and the brand. And that's why we're here. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Elena. Actually, we have a lot of questions that have come up. To start with, this is a very common thing I've seen. Should the agenda newsletters all follow the TI color and fonts?
Yes, they should. You don't need to use the template. We provide a template for those who have no idea how to put something together. So like, if you don't know, or if you just want something basic, you download. We have templates for agendas, for newsletters, letterhead, everything. Just download it and fill it in. You'll be fine. If you're more creative, if you want to add more pictures or elements, you're absolutely welcome to do that. It should have always the colors and the fonts, because this is an official Toastmasters document. You're showing how your meeting is going to go. You're inviting people. So it must follow the guidelines.
Sujata?
Hi, Elena. Now I have a question from Nigel Gomez. He asks, TI has strictly informed on the brand manual saying that images of animals and landscapes don't adhere to TI as brand and what it stands for. But on Instagram multiple times, such images has been used. A horse with a landscape was used on an official Instagram account of TI. What would you know? What are your thoughts?
Well, that was a post. I know exactly the post you're talking about, as like from the magazine, and has like a landscape and a horse and a door in it. That is from the magazine. So images used in the magazine, as I said, they do have more flexibility because it's a magazine. So they have different stories, and you can't just use the same types of pictures in a magazine to show someone going through trauma and someone starting a new life. And of course, we use a lot of members and a lot of things, but a magazine by nature has more flexibility. My very personal opinion, and this sucks because it's recording, I just see it there, so don't use this against me, is that we should be, even as headquarters, even as magazine, in a post it's very complicated. We should be as close as possible to the brand manual, because I understand you see those posts and you'd be like, hey, how can I do that? And I understand that came from, and it's an ongoing discussion. That's what I said. We try different things to see what creates more engagement, and something that if that post created a huge amount of engagement, we can actually perhaps start rethinking and what else can we add? Can we have more flexibility? So we try different things, but most of the time we do adhere to the brand guidelines, and we don't do any of those. And for the record, I received an email accusing Toastmasters of being discriminatory against blind people, because if they need a seeing eye dog and we don't allow animals, and then we can't put a picture of that member, so that's discrimination. I'm like, we can have a little bit of common sense here. A picture of a member giving a speech, having a dog next to him or her, it's not a picture of a dog. It's a picture of a member giving a speech. The dog happens to be there.
Yeah.
If your profile picture, let's say for this panel, happens to be the picture that you love the most about yourself, Sujata, is you in the mountains, and there's like this landscape in the background. It's still a picture of you. It's not a picture of a landscape. What we don't want is flyers calling you for a Toastmasters meeting with snow-capped mountains, or with a little puppy dog saying, "Are you coming to my meeting?" And then you're like, what do they stand for? You and you and you and I, we know that because we're Toastmasters. People who have no idea, and okay, this is a brand that's almost 100 years old, and it is in 145 countries, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not a brand like Coca-Cola that everyone knows. So if they see something that is really, one has a dog, one has a pizza, one has a mountain, one has a picture of the, I don't know, Eiffel Tower, you'd be like, what is this organization? What do they stand for? Come for what meeting? What are they going to talk about in a meeting? So that's why we say there's a style of photograph to be used, that you see someone either, and it doesn't have to be super stiff like shaking hands. You can use pictures from your own club, from your district. You can find pictures that are royalty free, make sure, that represent the environment of your club. We are supposed to have a photo shoot this year that we had to cancel due to COVID-19, to have less corporate pictures, a little more informal, a little more candid. So it's not the whole like, and it's more people talking and chatting. My club, no one comes with a suit. We don't meet in a corporation. We don't have computers before. So those pictures don't really reflect our nature. So you can go ahead and create your own. You can use royalty-free ones. It doesn't have to be all the same ones. But at the same time, if it's someone on a horse and you'd be like, they're talking about sports, is this an Olympic club, whatever, that's why. For the record, I don't like the exceptions. For me, we all stick to the brand manual.
Right.
Thank you, Ilana.
Elena, another question is, are word clouds allowed? And word clouds, especially in the form of images. Like you have word clouds in the form of a hat, you have word clouds in the form of a fire. No, but it always depicts the, let's say, public speaking or related to Toastmasters, but it's in the form of a cloud. Like if you want, I can share a screen and show you an image.
I would say the word clouds are definitely allowed because they're words. It's absolutely fine, especially if you can use the right fonts.
Yes.
And for images, I'd say if you can form images that are, because they wouldn't be clip art or cartoons, I think that's a tiny loophole over there. I'd say form shapes that are pertaining to the Toastmasters mission. So don't form a cake, don't form a hat, maybe we're talking about a microphone or a computer, podium, lecture, something like, which is not really easy to create, but
that should be good. Okay. Right, got it answered. Yeah. What is the turnaround time you expect for a request sent to brand@toastmasters.org email?
It used to be a day or two. We had this thing as in our business service would be in 2 days tops you get an answer. I am getting so many emails right now. It sometimes takes a little longer. Very few messages, but they do sometimes get stuck in a filter, in a quarantine, go to the junk mail for some reason. even trademark use requests, which should never go because they have a standard name. So if you didn't have if you didn't get a reply, please poke me, send a message again. If it's urgent specifically, sometimes you're just asking a question about a conference 2 years from now, and then it's okay if you can wait. I appreciate that. Right now, my biggest goal is to answer them within the week they're sent. I am still behind in some of those because since the 1st of July, I've been getting a billion emails. And it's a little hard because I read them all carefully. It's not like, sorry, can't do it, bye. I want to appreciate, especially when people go through the trouble of creating stuff, I don't ever just say not approved, redo it. Yep. I want to understand, we got so many requests. We got requests to create an obituary from, I'm not sure if it was Nigeria. And then a lot of the questions I don't get to answer by myself because it involves other teams. And then I have to go and talk to the team. Sometimes the team is busy, but I had to talk to legal and trademarks and then go back. At the same time, they're dealing with the loss of a member. So it's not just, yeah, go ahead, I'm happy to approve. Like, I'm happy to approve someone's obituary. No. So I stop and I pay attention. I am sorry for your loss. And yes, you can go ahead and do that. And I hope this brings peace to everyone. So it's finding a balance, and I want to be as fast as possible. It's so frustrating to keep waiting for an answer. So please poke me and let me know that you're waiting. And hopefully in a month or so, I'll be back to the, especially post-convention, I'll be back to one or two days to reply to those.
Right, Sujata.
The next question is, can we use national flags in the flyers? Example, Independence Day flyer.
This is a discussion we are having right now, and we feel, I've discussed that a lot with trademarks and legal. We feel that you should be able to use a flag as long as it's not like right next to the logo trying to create type of a district country logo. So you're fine using it, and as long as it's not right there.
Okay, thank you. Our next question. A club wants to create a birthday card for their members on a monthly basis to post on Facebook. Can they use photos of cakes, cursive fonts, and additional colors to make the card more attractive?
I know exactly where you're coming from, and it makes perfect sense. I'd love to say yes to that, but like, I can't, most unfortunately. So what you can do, I'm trying to think about it. If you have a picture of a celebration on your club with a cake, that would be okay. Just a picture of a cake, no. And you should stick to the fonts and the colors and find ways to be creative with that. And I think Canva at this point is a great solution, because even I feel like I have an eye for design, but when I was trying to create like a nice PowerPoint presentation, I was just using so much of the blue and the maroon. It was so heavy. And when you go on Canva, they provide you some designs. It's like lots of white and then like a square here and a circle here, and they have the colors, and I'm like, oh, it just looks so much better already. So that's the only direction I'll say you can go. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. I have another question here. Can we make our own certificates or for workshops?
Yes, you can. The one thing about certificates is that they need to be approved either by brand or trademarks. So if you create your own, submit a trademark use request, and we'll let you know if something needs to be changed or adjusted, or if it's fine as it is. A lot of clubs have special workshops, district even workshops, or little celebrations and achievements that they do. And I think that's great for engagement. So we'll never say no, just use the ones we have, period. You're absolutely welcome to do that. Just make sure you're following the brand manual and you get approval and you're good to go.
Thank you, Ilana. Over to you, Bindu.
Yeah, thank you, Sujata. The next question is regarding the videos And now we have seen a trend in making videos by all the clubs. It's much more faster in terms of, than to put all the club meeting photos together. Now, in terms of video, it is very clearly mentioned in the brand manual that we have to go for an approval. But then if you're only using the club meeting photos, the TI logo and the TI branded fonts, and going for the disclaimer as mentioned by panelist Jagadish, we go for the disclaimer, we have the logo with the club name, the credits, and the copyright information. Should we go for approval from you?
I think, first of all, those guidelines are not new. They were in a document that you could find on the website that was buried somewhere else called Video Guidelines, brand standards for videos, actually. And when we redid the manual, I said, this all needs to be in the same place. So it feels like it's all new, but it's not. It's always been there. First, it's like when we say that applies to all videos, we don't want videos laying around going by email that you don't know who created them. Is this headquarters? Is it not? So that's why we say, please put the number of your club or like name of your club or number of your district and the disclaimer, because it just needs to be clear. Of course, if it's a 5-second video of your club president saying, hey, don't miss the next meeting, which is only going to live on the club's Instagram and Facebook, you don't need to put the club name on it because it's right there. You see it. It only lives in an environment that's already branded and already very clearly marked as a club or a district. So in that case, if it's kind of like just an Instagram video, you're fine doing that. A lot of people are posting recordings of their meetings. You don't need to add all that. Clearly, this is a meeting. Everyone understands Zoom, all the little squares, so you're fine doing that too. You don't need permission for that. As long as you have the permission from the members, just make sure that everyone that appears in the video the same way as when you're posting a picture, that they're okay with that, to avoid any issues. And I believe with time, as people grasp how to create the videos, we will be able to say, as long as you're following the brand manual and following those guidelines, you're fine, you don't need to approve, just ask if you have questions. As of now, we're asking people to do that because it feels kind of new and people are a little unsure, but do I need to add to this one? What about this one? So we're asking for it. If you've created almost like a template or a format for a video and you're just replicating that, changing the name of the meeting, the theme of the meeting, and it's been already approved, there's no need to go through that again. We're just saying common sense to everyone. Please approve your videos because we do see a lot of things that are not compliant.
Okay, right. There is one more question. The brand manual states that material from TMI website should not be re-uploaded. Can the social media content from Toastmasters International be re-uploaded? I believe the question is, can we share it again and again and basically?
You're welcome to share all of the content posted by official Toastmasters International social media. That's a great way for people who do social media. If you're the VPPR and you're in charge of that or whatever, that's a great way to have content that you don't need to create all the time. If you see a post that is great, that is sharing an article from a magazine or has a nice quote, you're absolutely welcome to retweet, regram, share, repost on Facebook. Absolutely fine doing that.
Right. Sujata?
Okay. So this question is from Ramesh. He says, when we are using photos from Toastmasters International, in all photos, we will see foreign people in the pictures. If I post for my club, the office might think that people. What are your views on this?
I missed the very last part of your sentence. People might think what?
People might think people whom they see are our members. What are your views on this?
I think we still have a long way to go to be 100% inclusive and representative and make sure that it's not one picture that has someone with all sorts of like different hair colors and different skin colors and different facial features all in one picture to say, see, we're very diverse. It'll be great to have lots of different types of pictures that you can pick and choose from. So I understand. We just want to make sure it's not everyone white and blonde and blue-eyed in all pictures to say, this is what Toastmasters look like, because it's not. So you're welcome to use your own club pictures.
I want to know, I would like to nominate Tanisha as the...
Who's speaking? Oh, sorry. You are welcome to even do a mini photo shoot with your own club or district, because I don't know, trying to get just candid pictures as people are doing speeches is really hard, because they're gonna be nervous, or the lighting is not good, or you have a picture that's like, oh, like this. It'd be great to portray your own members, to say, this is it, this is who you're gonna find when you come here. You're absolutely welcome to use your own pictures, to avoid people thinking, wow, this is a really cool melting pot that I'm walking into.
All right, thank you. And there is one question that, okay, the question is that, now I have seen trainers using clip arts and illustration in their training material, even child pictures in their training material. Is this allowed?
I saw that on my own club officer training. I was appalled, because I was there to be trained as a VPPR, and I'm looking at this green and blue presentation with so many cartoons and clip art that it still had the watermark on it. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? But I couldn't say anything, because I was there to be trained as an officer, and I didn't want to be like, excuse me. So I didn't say anything then, but I did talk to the district leaders after, saying training is an official Toastmasters capacity. What you say in your speech is one thing. How you're training people, you're training officers to do their roles properly, to understand how their roles interact, how to deal with members, how to create materials, how to promote and grow their club. By using non-compliant elements is really hard, unless you're going to be saying, I'm using this cartoon here because it really shows how I feel when I'm that desperate, but you shouldn't be using them. And I feel like that really defeats the purpose. So that should not be on official training capacities in any way, because you're training people on how to be great at their roles by doing something that you're not supposed to do. Having that said, we do have one exception for cartoons or anything else you want to use, which is the district conference. District conferences are allowed to create their own logo, their own theme, their own look and feel. So go crazy, do whatever you want to do, as long as it's respectful and not offensive or discriminatory in any way. So if you want to create your district conferences to the moon and back, and you have a moon and the stars and a rocket ship and it's all sparkly, go for it, knock yourself out, have a blast. But people understand that's a difference. It's the same for our convention. We always create a connection of the convention to the place it's happening. So last year in Colorado, it was all about the Colorado ruggedness, outdoor, and creating with like that, what was it, the pattern of wood and the mountains. And now we're doing it online. So it has a little clip art of a computer and a little globe. So that helps people connect with that one event. And you have the bear and you have the pins, and it's great, like souvenirs. But other than the district conferences, we should not use cartoons anywhere.
Right.
All right, thank you. And for the next question, what is the preferred method of submitting trademark use request for videos, considering some videos can be very large?
Mostly, I know because I work very closely with trademarks, it needs to come through the website, because then it's very hard to keep track of stuff that we approve, we didn't approve, when it comes on all sorts of different ways. I know sometimes it doesn't work. So if you get a message saying it didn't go through, you can send an email to Trademarks and Brand. And if the video is too big, what you can do is upload it to WeTransfer or some service like that and send us the link in case it's too big.
Thank you, Elena. Bindu, over to you.
Thank you, Sujata. Regarding the gradients, We have an approved gradient with the blue, the digital blue, and the loyal blue and the digital loyal blue. But then in the open house flyers, which are available in the Toastmasters website, we find the gradients with black and maroon as well. So what is your take on this? Can we use that, or we are not allowed to?
My take is I want to leave now and not answer this question. Okay. Gradients are very complicated, and at first the idea was to not use gradients, just like use the solid color, which is very hard because I understand when you have designers working on it and they know exactly how to use a gradient and it looks great and you understand the colors and it's not a mess. Because if you do a gradient from the blue to the maroon, the middle is like what, purple, and it's all of a sudden it's like, what is this, right? So at first we wouldn't even include any gradients. However, I think that has been the biggest topic since releasing the new brand manual. And I understand we're using a lot of gradients, and so you want to use them too, which is absolutely fair. So I've been talking to the designers, and then our head designer created the instructions for the blue one, which is a PDF, and I'm sending it to a bunch of people. If you want it, please let me know. And we are having a discussion on that because clearly people want that and they will use it. So instead of just saying, nope, just use solid colors, which is not going to work, we are thinking about how to approach this in a larger way, to a more comprehensive way. And we are tackling this brand manual as something organic and alive. It's not going to be there for 10 years and then we revisit it. At things that are maybe not clear or people are having way too many questions about, then we need to do something about it, because the whole point is that it needs to be self-sufficient. You may have questions, of course, but if you're having question on top of question about something that's right there, then right there is not right. And then we need to make it clearer. And right now we are discussing gradients to maybe include a few more options on how to do it properly, instead of letting everyone guessing or frustrated that it can use that. So really soon, right now everyone's in crazy convention mode. So everything that's not absolutely urgent is going to happen in September, October. But this is a discussion we're having and I'm pushing for it because I want you guys to have all the resources that you want.
Right. I have one Mr. Thomas Abraham who has been asking me to share a flyer. Can you see this flyer?
Yes.
Thomas, can you please unmute and ask your question?
I'm sorry?
No, I'm asking Thomas, are you there? Can you please unmute and ask the question? Because he wanted me to share the flyer with you. And
yes, thank you very much. It's like this. This is a flyer for a joint meeting between an Indian club and a Gulf. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is connecting the two countries, Arabia and India, is an ocean and a ship. Now, is the scenery, does it offend our norms, is my question.
Yes, I think the whole flyer would be okay without the ship. The ship itself is not compliant. I understand exactly what you're saying and why it's there. It clearly is the one connecting those two nations because of the sea. You already have the map there to show that. So what you could do is have the name of one country, the name of the other country, and a little arrow connecting them or something like that. That's more graphic and not necessarily an illustration or painting of a ship, because the ship itself is not really compliant.
Yeah, I think I get the answer. Ship is a no. Done. No problem. No problem. May I also...
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, thank you. This is another one. Here, it's a personal feeling. Some of the feelings cannot be captured in the conference room.
I agree.
What do we do? So thank you.
This, for me, it's clearly, it's for a meeting, I imagine, like that's the theme of the meeting. If that's a member, this is absolutely fine. It's a member being happy or saying life is beautiful. Even the colors are kind of okay.
Thank you.
That for me expresses what the meeting is about with a member.
Precisely.
So that is like, if she's holding a cake, if she's celebrating, If she's hugging a friend, that's also a member. If it's that, for me, is absolutely fine. We just need to be careful not to put members in situations that are completely, that you wouldn't think that's a member. 2 members in a bike ride with the uniform of the bike ride, or like race or something, and saying racing to the finish or something like that. That is a bike race. That's not a member anymore, right? Because it becomes, and because we have nothing to do with sports, and we have to be very careful with promoting that or saying, yeah, come to a race with us, and then you get hurt, and then you sue Toastmasters because you said he's going to be safe, and that's a whole can of worms. This is absolutely fine.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Right. Sujata, had you already taken the question about the flags of the countries?
Yes, I have, but there's one more without the logo.
Okay, she has already answered that, Becky.
All right, I will.
Yep, please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, this question, it says that if I don't use the Toastmasters International logo, can I use any color which I wish, or only 4 colors on a flyer?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Every single material that is created to promote or in any official Toastmasters capacity, from a post to website to flyers, brochures, anything, training, must follow the brand guidelines, whether you want to put the logo there or not. So I'm saying sometimes if it's an Instagram post, it's a little square and you have lots of things to say, you don't necessarily need to use the logo because it's being seen within a profile, within a page that has the logo. So it's okay not to have the logo, but that doesn't mean you can go ahead and do whatever you want with it. It needs to follow the brand guidelines at all times, logo or no logo.
Right. The next question is, can a community club or a university club follow the corporate club brand guidelines?
Oh, that is university club for all the, yes, absolutely. I understand it's not a corporate club per se, but that's mostly, and that's a great point, actually. We can possibly even add it to the brand manual next time. Yeah, the biggest concern is just not putting 2 logos side by side, because that would imply a partnership that could get us in trouble.
Yep.
And if you put one here, or here, or as you wish, then please follow those guidelines. You'll be fine.
But then the question was, can we follow the corporate club guidelines?
Yeah.
I mean, corporate guidelines. Yeah, that was the question, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, fine. The next question is regarding the transparency. To what level can we use the transparency feature for designing when we use the branded fonts?
Transparency on the fonts or on the?
No, on the color itself.
That's
because
a
you
hard
might have a picture. Yeah, you might have a picture, and then you have a font when you have the color on top where you want to put a text, and that.
Oh, okay, almost like a filter.
Yeah, kind of filter. Yes.
Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Creating a filter, that'll be fine. So sometimes you take a picture that's full of colors and you make it into black and white, and you put like either the maroon or the blue on top as a filter to make sure it looks very branded. That's fine. As for other shapes and things, we don't have guidelines exactly. I've seen I was in a different workshop webinar yesterday with New Zealand, and they were doing Canva. And that specific design they picked had a little transparency. So there's not a rule against or for that. And we may have to add it in the future, but as of now, can go ahead and do it.
Right. There is something very commonly which is seen. There is let's say there's a theme called Igniting Possibilities, and you see clip outs or fire on both sides. So is that allowed?
I actually said no to that one a couple days ago.
So.
With the little flames on the side of it.
Flames. That's a very common thing to say, yes.
I understand. Ignite your passions.
Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, we can't have that, no.
Right, okay. there is a missing white word mark in the website, which is mentioned in the brand manual and is missing in the website, which is just an information that is given. So maybe that is for your information kind of things. And I think I'm already done with all my questions. Anything more from your side, Sujata?
Yes, I have 2 questions.
Right.
Can you confirm if club logos other than official logos is a no-no? Some clubs have created their own logos, a person at a lectern, and I am not sure, is it compliant?
It's not, and I'm sorry. Again, I understand how fun it is to create a logo, how engaging and how great it is for the club to unite around it. I understand all of that. However, it's not even just in the brand manual. That's in Toastmasters policy of intellectual property, that clubs, areas, divisions, regions, and districts cannot create their own logos. And I'm sorry, that even though it feels really great and if you're like, but it unites us and it's great and it shows our city, our neighborhood, whatever that is, it creates a lot of confusion and it dilutes the power of the brand, even unintentionally. Because if you think about it, going back to the McDonald's example, I don't even like McDonald's, but they may customize the menu. So if they're in Japan, in Brazil, in New Zealand, in Malaysia, you may find different things, even though you're always going to find a Big Mac and the French fries, you find different things in the menu. But the logo is always unaltered. You don't have a McDonald's in Texas with a cowboy hat, or you don't have one in Brazil with, like, I don't know, feathers and samba all around it. Because then you'd be like, is this really McDonald's? Is it the local one? Did they sell it to someone else? Is this a knockoff? I don't know. So most unfortunately, and I know how fun that is, clubs cannot create their own logos.
Thank you, Elena. And there's another question. What about vectors attached to club names? For an example, if a club was called Blue Bay Toastmasters and you had a ship at the end of the name, is that allowed?
No. I understand, like, you may have the technical names. Oh, it's just a number, it's a vector, it's a cartoon, it's a picture, it's just an element of design. That all constitutes a logo. Whatever goes right next to the club name, district, whatever, it constitutes a logo. It's the same as a tagline, and I got lots of questions about that. You're welcome to create something that represents your club, for instance. At Lodo Toastmasters, that's my club, we welcome everyone with a smile every time because we are a happy club. We can say that. We can use that in copy. What you can do is have Lodo Toastmasters, we welcome everyone with a smile. Because that becomes a tagline, whether you call it or not. It just becomes right next to the logo or in your email signature. It's a standalone little sentence, and then you can call it whatever you want. Oh, it's a motto, it's a theme, it becomes a brand element. So you can use it. A lot of districts create that. The focus for this year is to move 20 years forward. Perfect. You can say that. This is the theme for the year. This is what we're focusing on. What you cannot have is District 102. We're moving 20 years ahead. Or you can't do that because then it becomes like a tagline. Then we already have one. Even if you don't need to use where leaders are made, where you don't feel it's helping. But if you're gonna have something, but the logo has to be any of the official ones.
Right. There is one question which I have. Let's say we have taken the image from the Toastmasters website and used on the flyer as a main background. Can we have the logo on that?
Yes. I think when we say the logo should only be on the colors, it's to avoid crazy, insane things. And especially because the logo should always be standalone. Some people would have a picture of, like, even for a conference that you can create a bunch of stuff, we had to adjust one that was a magician's hat. And on top of the hat, there was a logo and like magic coming out of it. That looks like the logo is applied to the hat. And that is a problem because it means the logo is not standing alone. It always needs to stand alone. When it looks like it's a part of something, then we have a problem. A lot of people write words with it. So like our goal and the O is the logo, or 10 years and the 0 is the logo. That cannot happen.
Right.
But if your flyer is a picture, where else would the logo be, right? So that would be okay.
Right. Another question related to the logo is, can the logo be used as a watermark, like in an agenda or poster?
As long as there's nothing on top of it. So if you're using it as a visual element because you don't need the colors bright out there, that will be okay. But if you're having stuff written on top of it or elements on top of it, then it means it's going to be cut or modified in a way, then no.
And the clear space has still to be applied in that case? Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. There is one question from, I believe she's a distinguished Toastmaster, Violet Coffee.
I am like in awe of all of you. I just finished one path and everyone has DTMs and manuals.
Yes.
There's multiple clubs. You guys are very impressive.
I'm leading on major Rotary and Toastmaster project, and we have different themed events and use relevant themed flyers. What can you say about it? And she says we have both a joint Facebook and a YouTube channel, which is all themed. So anything related to that, related to the Rotary and the Toastmasters merging, anything? How should we go ahead with it?
That's new to me. And I think it's absolutely great that you're doing a joint venture there with Rotary, because it's not an obvious alliance. And then it's great if you find a way to make it work or to bring information back and forth. We do have some resources in our website. If I'm not mistaken, it's toastmasters.org/Rotary. And then you have some, not only the branding guidelines for how to do this, and also a PowerPoint presentation. If you have no idea what to say, if you want to welcome people to your club or go there, then there's some information. But it feels like you're a little further ahead than that. The themes still apply. You are welcome to have theme meetings, whatever they are, as long as everyone's happy and respected. That is absolutely fine if you're going to have speeches that answer to that theme and everything like that. But the promotion of the materials, the promotion of the meetings must follow brand guidelines. And those are, there is a small PDF, I think it's 2 pages, on the branding guidelines for Rotary and Toastmasters together. I cannot tell you if they're okay with clip art and cartoons, but I know that we're not. So as well as respecting the brand manual, those 2 page guidelines talk about how to use the logos together, and that's all. But unfortunately, no cartoons, no clip arts, no vectors, no theme things that are beyond visually. The themes can be whatever you want. Visually, it has to follow brand guidelines.
There's one question. How do you handle letting clubs know they are in the violation of the guidelines?
The very few tips that we receive is in like, hi, I went to this one club and they're doing this wrong, or sometimes they try. I've already talked to them and they're not listening to me, or sometimes I just come across something. I assume, because that's my nature, that everyone is doing something wrong out of not knowing how to do it right. Not on purpose, not as in defiance, not I don't care. So every time I would just reach out and say, hi, and say whatever it is, like, and most of the people doing something that's not compliant, doing it because they're engaged and they're like excited and they're creating material. So I would never repress that and say, stop it, and that's just wrong. I'll try to understand and explain why. The vast majority of people are absolutely fine with that. Some get really, really upset. And that's their right. But I always tackle it with respect and empathy.
Yep. Okay. What about the icons related to the social media content, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp? Can we have those icons in our flyers? Absolutely. Yes. Okay. And the colors would be different, so it should not be a problem, is it?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, because that's a service, that's a link.
All right.
When I create stuff, I rather have them all in white or black, so because I don't like a bunch of colors, but that is absolutely fine. Not everyone is it's obligated to do that, and it's just like making it easier for people to connect. Click here, or we do have a WhatsApp channel or whatever, so that's fine.
Right. I'm done with my question. Sujata, any more from your side?
Yes, I have two. It's regarding the club permanent theme. So the question is, so those club permanent theme can't be mentioned on club agendas too, right?
I'm not sure what is a permanent theme, and they can be mentioned, as I said, as long as it's not a standalone thing, like in the club agenda, the best club in the world, or like you can say things and you can use them on copy as long as it's part of copy, like full sentences, and not as our theme is, because you're not allowed to have a full-on theme that's different than the Toastmasters theme. And you may call it whatever, that's semantics at this point. If it's a tagline, theme, motto, direction, north, compass, it translates at the same stuff. You have a logo, a name, and something that comes right after it. So you can say this is how we behave, this is what we believe in as a club, as long as it comes like that. So if you're, let's say, my club doesn't read the club mission every meeting. I'm actually in 2 clubs. I joined the one at work because I wanted to see different styles, and I wanted to become closer to people at work through their speeches and through talking a little bit about myself in a different way. And the club at work is very structured. So very by the book, of course, because it's Toastmasters. So we read the club mission every time. My other club is very informal, even though we follow the agenda, we have all the officers, we have all the roles, we don't read the club mission. So let's say you're gonna read the club mission, and then you can add, the mission of the club is blah, 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 blah. And here at Loda Toastmasters, we also believe in this. As long as you don't say our motto is, our theme is, because that's not allowed.
Okay, thank you, Elena. And the last question from my side is, can we add pictures to reflect the theme when creating a poster, either for a club meeting or an event? And does the picture have Toastmasters 4 colors only?
The picture, let me see if I understand. The picture has the members on it? Is that it?
No, apart from that, apart from the members.
So I'm not, as long as it's following the guidelines. So like, let's say you're creating a picture with a hand typing on a computer, or holding a microphone is just like a piece of a face and a microphone. You're welcome to do all that. And in pictures, like if you're wearing a t-shirt that's green, it's green. I mean, I don't go all the way to saying like you can only wear Toastmasters colors and breathe Toastmasters colors and paint your nails in Toastmasters colors. It's absolutely fine.
This is right.
I'm not wearing Toastmasters.
All right, that is all that I have from my side. Bindu, any questions?
Yep. No, that's it.
Yay, we're good.
We can hand over to Priscilla. Over to you, Toastmaster Priscilla.
Priscilla has been there, so I will be taking from here. So first of all, thank you for your valuable timing, and I'd like to thank all of my panelists who have spent a lot of time with for them, and we have maybe we have so many dry runs, and we have spent more efforts to make this event success. So I would like to thank from Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club. I would like to thank Priscilla for as a moderator, and I would like to thank Reshmi Rahov, he is from district 5, I hope. And I'm thanking Reshmi Rahov and Jagdish, who will be our own DPPR of our club, and Bindu, where she can able to fine tune our presentation and adding a value in the presentation. Thanking Bindu, and Sujata, maybe the QA master, who has done a shoot of question to our brand person as well, and many special thanks to Ilana Herzberg, as I have got to her appointment towards I will be following up, and I can able to. I don't feel I keep on poking you on Facebook as well to get to a response, and thank you for here to clear all our queries. And thank you everyone, and I'm going to close this session. And thanks for all your valuable timing. The meeting got extended 35 minutes, but still we are not able to get where it's lagging. And the entire thing is very interesting one. And thank you once again, all the members, and have a good night for someone, good morning for someone, and good evening for someone as well. Thank you everyone. Let me unmute all the members. Thank you all.
Just want to say what you are doing makes me so, so proud. Thank you for inviting. Oh, I got cut off. Just want to say thank you for the amazing work that you're doing, and keep doing that. And you make me so, so proud.
Thank you so much, Ilana.
Thank you so much, Ilana.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yay!
Keep in touch, Ilana.
Will do. Keep emailing me and poking me and complaining and complimenting, whatever you want.
Yes, for sure.